An Epistle to Fleetwood, Shephard, Burleigh, May 14, 1689. Matthew Prior, Sir, as once a 12-month to the priest, holy at Rome, here Antitrust, the Spanish king presents a jennet to show his love, that's all that's in it. For if his holiness would thump his reverent bum gainst horse's rump, he might be quipped from his own stable with one more white and eke more able. Or as with gondolas and men his good excellence the Duke of Venice, I wish, for rhyme, it had been the king sails out, and gives the Gulf a ring, which trick of state he wisely maintains, keeps kindness up twixt old acquaintance, for else, in honest truth, the sea has much less need of gold than he. Or, not to rove and pump one's fancy for popish similes beyond sea, as folks from mudwalled tenement bring landlords peppercorn for rent, present a turkey or a hen to those might better spare them 10. Even so, with all submission, I, for first men instance, then apply, send you each year a homely letter, who may return me much a better. Then take it, sir, as it was writ to pay respect, and not show wit, nor look askew at what is saith. There's no petition in it, faith. Here some would scratch their heads, and try what they should write, and how, and why. But I conceive such folks are quite in mistakes in theory of writing. If once for principle 'tis laid that thought is trouble to the head, I argue thus, the world agrees that he writes well who writes with ease. Then he, by sequel logical, writes best who never thinks at all. Verse comes from heaven like inward light. Mere human pains can ne'er come by single quotee. The God, not we, the poem makes. We only tell folks what he speaks. Hence when anatomists discourse how like brutes organs are to ours, they grant, if higher powers think fit, a bear might soon be made a wit, and that for anything in nature, figs might squeak love odes, dogs bark satire. Memnon, though stone, was counted vocal, but 'twas the god meanwhile that spoke all. Rome oft has heard a cross haranguing, with prompting priests behind the hanging, the wooden head resolved the question, while you and petties help the jest on. Your crabbed rogues that read Lucretius are against gods you know and teach us, the gods make not the poet. But the thesis vice versa put, should Hebrew wise be understood, and means, the poet makes the god. Egyptian gardeners thus are said to have set the leeks they after prayed to. And Romish bakers praise the deity, they chipped while yet in its painity. That when you poets swear and cry the god inspires, I rave, I die. If inward wind does truly swell ye, single quotee must be the colic in your belly, that writing is but just like dice, and lucky mains make people wise, that jumbled words, if fortune throw 'em, shall Wells Dryden form a poem, or make a speech correct and witty, as you know who, at the committee. So Adams, dancing round the center, verge, made all things at a venture. But granting matters should be spoke by method rather than by luck. This may confine their younger styles whom Dryden pedagogues at wills, but never could be meant to tie authentic wits like you and I, for as young children, who are tied in go-karts, to keep their steps from sliding, when members knit, and legs grow stronger, make use of such machine no longer, but leap pro liberto, and scout on horse called hobby, or without. So when at school we first declaim, old Busby walks us in a theme, whose props support our infant vein, and help the rickets in the brain. But when our souls their force dilate, and thoughts grow up to wit's estate, in verse or prose we write or chat, not sixpence matter upon what. 'Tis not how well an author says, but 'tis how much, that gathers praise. Tonson, who is himself a wit, counts writers' merits by the sheet. Thus each should down with all he thinks, as boys eat bread to fill up chinks. Kind sir, I should be glad to see you. I hope ye are well. So God be wi' you, was all I thought at first to write. But things since then are altered quite. Fancies flow in and muse flies high, so God knows when my clack will lie. I must, sir, prattle on, as afore, and beg your pardon yet this half hour. So at pure barn of loud non-con, where with my granum I have gone, when Lob had sifted all his text, and I well hope the pudding next, now to apply, has plagued me more than all his villain cant before. For your religion. First, of her your friends do savory things aver. They say she's honest as your claret, not soured with cant, nor stummed with merit. Your chamber is the sole retreat of chaplains every Sunday night. Of grace no doubt a certain sign when layman herds with man divine. For if their fame be justly great, who would no popish nuncio treat? That his is greater we must grant, who will treat nuncios Protestant. One single positive we's more, you know, than negatives a score. In politics I hear you're staunch, directly bent against the French. Deny to have your freeborn toe dragoons into a wooden shoe. Are in no plots, but fairly drive at the public welfare in your private. And will for England's glory try Turks, Jews, and Jesuits, to defy, and keep your places till you die. For me, whom wandering fortune threw from what I loved, the town and you, let me just tell you how my time is passed in a country life. Imprimis, as soon as Phoebus raised and spect us, first, sir, I read, and then I breakfast. So on, till foresaid God does set, I sometimes study, sometimes eat. Thus of your heroes and brave boys, with whom old Homer makes such noise, the greatest actions I can find are, that they did their work and dined. The books of which I am chiefly fond are such as you have Willem Kant, that treat of China's civil law and subjects right in Golconda. Of highway elephants at Ceylon, that rob in clans like men o' this highland. Of apes that storm or keep a town as well almost as Count Laocoon. Of unicorns and alligators, elks, mermaids, mummies, witches, satyrs, and 20 other stranger matters, which, though they were things I've no concern in, make all our grooms admire my learning. Critiques I read on other men, and hypers upon them again, from whose remarks I give opinion on 20 books, yet ne'er look in one. Then all your wits that fleer and sham, down from Don Quixote to Tom Tram, from whom I jessen puns purloin, and slily put them off for mine, want to be thoughts a country wit, the rest, when fate and you think fit. Sometimes I climb my mare and kick her to bottled ale and neighbouring vicar. Sometimes at Stamford take a quart. Squire Shepherd's health, with all my heart. Thus, without much delight or grief, I fool away an idle life, till Shadwell from the town retires, choke it up with fume and sickle fires, to bless the wood with peaceful lyric. Then hay for praise and panegyric. Justice restored, and nations freed. And wreaths round William's glorious head.